The current big discussion on X currently is the Lily Phillips story. And... yeesh. Hi folks, I'm Paul, and this is my take. I wanted to give you a heads up. This video is going to be covering some pretty adult topics. I'm going to try to keep it family friendly, but if you have kids with you, I'd recommend watching this video at a later time. Okay, so now that that's out of the way, let's dig into this. If you don't know about Lily Phillips, good. Congratulations. That's actually a good thing. She's an erotic model. An OnlyFans girl. Frankly, there's not much difference between her and a prostitute other than a rolling camera. She's famous though because she did the deed with 100 guys in a single day. I'm sorry, I'm really trying. Recently though, a documentary has come out that features her and her escapade to sleep with this many guys in a single day. There's a clip from the documentary that shows an interview with her directly after this whole ordeal occurred, and she's visibly distraught. She's clearly unwell. You can see it in her face. She's shell-shocked. She's obviously not okay. She admits to it being a very intense experience. She admits to disassociating during it. And as I watched the interview, I felt not necessarily pity for her, but heartbreak for an entire generation of young women. Women have been propagandized to believe that they can do this kind of thing with zero consequences. This woman is destroyed, and I think she knows that. But one of the main points of discourse about this story is essentially who's to blame for this woman's destruction. A lot of people are condemning the 100 men. It was 100 men versus one woman. How can you blame her for this? Yes, 100 men were involved, but are they responsible for the state that this woman is in? I think the answer to that question lies in an answer to another question. Do women have agency? Are they liable for the decisions they make and the consequences of those decisions? If no, then yeah, those 100 men are the responsible party. But if yes, then really there's no one to blame but Lily herself. I think everyone involved in this event is disordered and broken. I don't think any of the 100 men should have been there, but nobody would be there if Lily wasn't first open for business. If she didn't make the decision to do this, it wouldn't have happened to her. Men want one thing and it's disgusting. Yes, true. And she just gave 100 men what they wanted. She very publicly advertised that she wanted to do that. She made an entire spectacle out of it, and that's men's fault? The way I see it, the only way that I could really agree that men are at fault for this is if we reject nearly everything about the equal rights movement and say that men should have never allowed the legal distinctions between men and women to be removed. But I don't think we want to go there. As a society, we have been in this weird miasmatic state regarding gender issues, especially those pertaining to women. We've been in this state for a long time, for multiple generations. If we want to point the finger at an abstract concept, we could say that the sexual revolution of the 1960s and 70s is largely to blame for why we are where we are. But I think that was still a natural progression from the equal rights movement of the 1920s. The more we as a society attempt to treat men and women as the same, as interchangeable, the more you are going to see women choose to engage in this kind of disordered and destructive behavior. A lot of women have been convinced that it is empowering to essentially destroy the value of their femininity. The deceptive idea that's deeply rooted in the feminist movement is there is no such thing as feminine value because there is no such thing as masculine value because we're equal, we're the same. There is no difference between men and women. There should be no difference between men and women. And that has had disastrous effects in nearly every regard, but especially when it comes to sexuality. What Lily did here is she approached a very intense sexual situation from a position of a masculine mindset. And what do I mean by that? I mean, a man could sleep with 100 women in a day and not be left in the same sort of emotionally disturbed and shaken state that Lily was left in. I wouldn't endorse that situation. I'd think it was just as bad as what Lily did. It would likely have the same level of society-damaging effects, but I don't think it would have the same humanity damaging effects, because men and women want sexual relationships for different reasons, and we experience those relationships very differently. And modern feminism has tried really, really hard to convince us that that's not true. Because if that is true, it requires us to reevaluate a lot of ideology and policies that have led us to where we are right now. A lot of people feel bad for Lily, and I kind of do too, but not in a way where I'm necessarily sympathetic. It's kind of like how I'd feel if I saw a stupid kid repeatedly punching himself in the face. Yeah, kid, you shouldn't do that. That's bad. It hurts. Why are you doing that? Maybe somebody should intervene and stop him. No! He's expressing himself. Punching yourself in the face is empowering. Some people are theorizing that she did this as a cry for help. Nobody stopped her. Nobody tried to stop her from doing this. She was trying to find some kind of value within herself, and she thought that sex was the only value that she could offer anyone. And the fact that nobody tried to stop her from doing this proved that to her. I don't know how much of that is true. I think a lot of people are reading stuff like that into this situation because we want to believe that there's no way someone would do something this disordered just purely for the spectacle of it. But even if that is true, the responsibility of this action still falls on her. As far as I know, nobody forced Lily to do this. And if somebody did, that changes the entire landscape of this conversation. But it looks pretty clearly like she made these decisions for herself. And she's already publicly planning on doing it again, this time 10 times worse, with 1,000 guys. And yes, I will ridicule those 1,000 guys just like I did with the 100. But the fact still remains that none of them would be there if she wasn't first making the choice to invite them. It's pretty incredible that the West is here societally. Seeing a headline like, "This woman wants to set a record for sleeping with the most men in a single day," is something that could only happen post-1970s. It would be shocking to see that in the 80s or the 90s, but not necessarily unbelievable. But we've gotten to such a degraded place, especially within the last 5 years with the popularization of things like OnlyFans, that seeing a headline like that isn't really shocking at all. There is so much degeneracy in our culture right now. Degeneracy is promoted everywhere. Music, movies, social media, it's all around us all the time, and it is so incredibly destructive. Lily Phillips is both a product and a victim of this degenerate culture. And I think we're nearing a breaking point with it. At least I hope we are. The fact that people are reacting the way they are to this documentary clip indicates a shift of some kind. I don't know how far that shift will go. I don't know where that's going to lead, but I think it's going to be in a better direction than where we're currently headed. It's getting harder and harder to deny or cover up the deleterious effects of this cultural movement, and people are noticing. People are waking up to it very quickly. And I hope that soon there's going to be enough momentum behind a rejection of this degeneracy that we can end up making some real cultural impact for the better. I don't know exactly what that's going to look like, but it's going to be interesting to watch over the course of the next 10 years or so. I don't think degeneracy or the people behind it who are pushing it are going to go down without a fight. But it is a fight worth having. It's a fight that saves the daughters of the West from a future where becoming like Lily Phillips is a possibility. That's all I've got for today. But what do you think? Do you think things like OnlyFans are as destructive to culture as I do? I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. As always, if you enjoy my content and want to see more, I would really appreciate it if you liked and subscribed. I hope you're all having a great day, and I will see y'all next time.